when I got up today, it seemed like such a great idea to bring back the banana shirt. I found it in my closet, I put it on, I was feeling great about myself. I come down here, I turn the camera on, and then I immediately start to question everything about my life. Anyways, welcome everyone to episode 45 of Missing Pieces. If this is your first time watching or listening, my name's Greg, and this is where I sit down and I discuss my life, Lego, and anything else that's on my mind. This, of course, is being broadcast to YouTube, but it's also available everywhere that podcasts are available. And the benefit of that is that you don't have to see my banana shirt. It is literally emanating its own light. It's all you can see. Maybe I kind of like it. Let me know what you got. Oh gosh, all the comments are about the banana shirt now. Anyway, save your comments though, because we do viewer feedback, which we'll be doing in this episode as well. There's so many great comments from last week, half of which I think were about Pringles, but nonetheless, let's get into this week's episode. I've got a lot of topics, but before we get into that, of course, we need to talk about our Patreon thank you, which goes out to Trace. Trace, thank you for joining us on Patreon this week. Huge help. That takes us to this week's topics, which is mainly just about things that have happened here on Brickitect this week. And the first thing that we did that I was like super excited about was bringing back Reddititect, formerly Memetect. I did one episode after getting so many requests to do this. If you guys don't know what it is, essentially it's where people post to our subreddit, which is Reddit/Brickitect, r/Brickitect, however you want to find it. Just go to Reddit and search for Brickitect and you'll find it. In fact, I think it's linked down below here as well. But Reddit is a fantastic platform, probably my second favorite thing to YouTube, just because I love going over there and reading like the comments on posts. I like looking at popular posts. Now I love looking at r/Brickitect because you guys are posting stuff over there. I started I guess I brought it back a little bit when I made the Statue of Liberty with the whole face thing, and I took the face off and I made a post and I was like, I'd love to see what you guys can do with this, and that's what you did. You made a whole bunch of posts there and it just kind of kept going. So I thought, why don't I do a video where it's like what a lot of other people do, where they react to their subreddit or whatever. And I did that this week, and I started out, and it was a lot of fun. But then what took it to the next level? Gosh, I keep looking at the banana shirt. It's nuts. Clarkman comes down, and we were looking at it together, and it just like changed everything. I had so much more fun with it. It's sort of like Lego, for example. Like, I love building Lego, and I like that experience. But I find, like a lot of things in life, the more you share it with other people, the better it is. And having Clark come down to help with the Reddititect episode, which is what I renamed it to from Memetect, it was great. And I love seeing all your posts. And since then, I've been going back through. I know I'm only supposed to look at it when you guys do when we do the episode or whatever. But I look at it pretty much every day, and there's some really great stuff there, and I can't wait to do the next episode. So if you guys want to join us over there, I think we have almost 500 members now. It'd be really cool. It's free to do. You can post anything you want. The funnier, the better. I love when people post I like seeing mocks. I like seeing deals you do, but the memes are hilarious, and there's been some great ones there. So maybe we'll make another video this week. We'll see. This week's going to be a little interesting because we have family that are coming over next weekend. So I need to really buckle down to get everything cleaned up with the house. Like, I want to make it very presentable. This will be the first time that they've ever seen our place. And I don't want them to know that my studio looks like this. I got to clean up the garage. There's all these things. So I think that'd be a great video to do because it doesn't take a lot of time. And that was kind of the reason why I haven't done Memetect or Reddititect in the past, because I feel like when I watch other people's, at least, I just feel, and this is no insult to anyone that's ever done one of these episodes, but I just feel like it's like lazy content. You know, you have people make these creative things and then you just sit there and you react to them. But honestly, it's a lot of fun, and I want it to be a thing. I think it's a great thing for community building, and it's just fun to get people involved. So I think I'll do another episode this week, and if you are listening to this, maybe in the next however long this is going to be, I have no idea when I start these, but if you want to make a meme or do something funny over there, I'd be happy to share that in the episode. So yeah, we're just starting a new thing, starting new stuff up this week, and I think it's always good. Like, it's fun to do the things you've always done, but it's also fun to start new things. And for me, I don't like letting things get stale. I get bored somewhat easily. I wouldn't say that I have ADD or anything like that, but anytime that I can like switch things up, I try to. And you probably have seen that if you've been subscribed to this channel or Greg's World. Like, it's just always evolving, it seems. And I think it's important to do that no matter what you're doing in life. Try to keep things fresh. And speaking of keeping things fresh, I'd like to thank our sponsor today, Subway. Eat fresh. Just kidding. Boy, I should probably stop with the jokes. Last week there's been about a joke a week that I attempt. And 2 weeks ago, it was the Enya joke, which got me demonetized with a copyright flag or whatever. Not a strike, but a flag. Most people didn't get that one. Last week I made a joke about ads, how I don't like to put ads in the middle of these videos because it breaks up. So then when I was talking about that, I ran an ad in that, and you guys seemed to really enjoy that. There was one person, though, in particular that didn't get the joke, and I was like, oh man, it was like, I thought it was good. And it's really made me question my comedic abilities the past couple weeks. Also, the Greg's Gardening Tips just completely crushed my soul. The time that I got kicked off Bricks and Bits, no one seems to get my humor. It's probably because it's bad, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to work on my comedy here. Maybe I need to read a book on how to deliver jokes or something. But I like to sneak little things in there, and it's just fun. Speaking of new things this week, I started this thing that I think is going to be a really great series here on Brickitect called Lego History. It's actually fake Lego history. But we were just doing a Patreon lunch and Lego a few weeks ago, and we were building the fairground mixer, which you saw, I think this week, you saw a video on that. And I had this idea that I was going to do. I was kind of making fun of Lego reviewers that go into depth with all these pieces. They're like, well, this banana shirt minifigure, he was first found in 2013 in this set, and he comes with green shorts, which I'm currently wearing green shorts. Should I show you? Should I? This is getting real weird. There's my green shorts. Leg reveal. Make sure you leave a like for that, guys. If you're listening to this, you're missing out, but I do appreciate you going over to Spotify and Apple Podcasts. But yeah, I was kind of poking fun at that, but then it kind of became a thing where I was just going completely off the rails with it, saying about how Lego was invented in medieval times or whatever, Middle Ages, and I talked about how one piece actually came from the future and was brought back by Marty and Doc, and I had a lot of fun with that, and I called the piece Holding a Piece of Lego History. It was kind of a play on words, and you guys seem to enjoy it as well. Like, most people thought it was really great. I had a few people, even in that, were like, this isn't true. Lego wasn't invented in the Dark Ages. And I'm just like literal facepalm. I just don't even know sometimes. But it was fun. And I came up with this character named Ivan von Lego, the CEO of Lego. And I want to have Ivan, and this is actually an idea that I got from Tracy, who commented on last week's Missing Pieces episode. I want to have Ivan von Lego be the presenter of fake Lego history. Like, someone said that it was really cheesy, so I'm going to take a couple ideas, I think, this week to make a little video if you guys want to see it. I need to make an Ivan von Lego sig fig, and I want him to present the history of the cheese slope. I said, Cheesy, would you like to hear the history of the cheese slopes? And I don't know. I think it's going to be really fun, and I feel like there's enough serious stuff out there, not only in the Lego community, but the world, that there can be at least a little spot for somebody just to have a little bit of fun, even if some people don't get it. I hope most of you guys do. And I hope that this is going to sound really, really bad, but when I made that video, I was like, some people are going to like dislike this video and be aggravated because it's sort of a clickbait thing. I said holding a piece of Lego history, and there was like a question mark with like a blacked out thing, and I was holding up the dunk tank quarter cylinder, half cylinder glass piece. I was like, there's going to be some people that get angry with this, and they're going to leave a dislike, they're going to leave a nasty comment, they're going to unsubscribe. Very little of that actually happened, but I kind of want those people just to vamoose, if that makes sense. I just want you gone. I don't want people that are sticks in the mud to be on this channel, that you can't have a little bit of fun talking about how this guy was sent back by ancient aliens into the pyramid, and that's where I recovered him during one of my trips in the mid-70s back to Egypt. I just want to have some fun here on this channel, and I feel like that's what Reddititect, that's what that's going to do. I think it's just a little lighthearted thing that allows people to escape from the realities of everything that's going on these days. Like, I think we all need a little bit of that, including myself, which is why I like doing this stuff. So, Reddititect, the fake history of Lego. I think it's going to be and then we'll do like brackets and it'll say fake, and then history of Lego, and then we'll do cheese slopes. I'll take requests each week from someone, and we'll do almost like a featured comment of the week where it's like, I don't know, Greg, review this little plant piece, and then I can talk about how this was found on Mars, some of the first life forms ever found there, and brought back by Elon Musk, presented to me in the Brickitect studio, and that's what enabled us to do this review. It's all fun stuff like that. Nothing's going to be scripted. It's not going to be written. It's just going to be top of my head, whatever I can think of. It might be cheesy, but it's just fun, and I don't know. That's what I want to do. On that, we need a quick drink break, which is brought to you by our sponsor, Urine Jugs. Urine Jugs, for whenever you really have to go and you're thirsty. It's so good. Next topic. I did a couple live streams this week that were a lot of fun. I did something called an NES release party stream. You guys know from 2 weeks ago, last weekend's episode was where I was upset with LEGO for canceling a set that was seemingly already done, but canceled for unknown reasons apparently. But before that, I was talking about how my new favorite LEGO set of the future was coming out, which is the NES. And it just so happens to be that it was released Friday night at midnight, or was intended to be released Friday night at midnight, which was July 31st going into August 1st. So we were camping the days before that, but that Friday we came home. I did our Patreon-only Friday night stream, and then I waited up all the way up until 11:30 where I did a live stream with me and a whole bunch of my buddies, and some of us were trying to get that set, and we were going to buy it like right when it went live, because we had no idea whether this set was going to, first of all, go live at midnight, or whether if it went live, we would be able to get it. If LEGO's website was straight up just going to crash, if the world was going to end, aliens were going to abduct us. I mean, any of these things could have potentially happened. But I got my buddies together, and this is the first time I've ever seen anyone do this, or like a group of people get together and be like really excited about LEGO, at least virtually. I'm sure this happens at LEGO stores all the time where people are waiting outside to get in to get the new set. And I would love to be a part of that too, but my LEGO store, the closest one's like almost 3 hours away, so I don't have that opportunity. So we did almost like a Chima virus type deal where we all got together and virtually we were just hanging out and talking. And then at 11:55, it happened to be, the NES went live, and we all bought it. And then we're all disappointed 5 minutes later when the little promo, the $5 poly bag with the mushroom in it, went live, and we didn't get that. So I'm probably gonna have to call LEGO customer service to try to get that. I don't know if it's worth it. Like, I'm gonna have to call in and be like, "Hey, Ivan von LEGO, it's Greg again. Didn't get that promo. Is there any way that we could make that a thing?" And I'm sure they'd be willing to do that. LEGO customer service, in my experience, anytime I've called, which has only been a few times, they've been amazing. Like, probably the best customer service that I've ever dealt with. And especially over the phone, because you come to expect, at least in my opinion, you've come to expect bad customer service almost everywhere you go. So when you do get good customer service, it's like it breathes life into you. And that's what I've gotten from LEGO. So I'm going to make that phone call, I suppose. Someone also sent me a code for another one. Let me see if I can get it here. Sorry if you're listening to this. This podcast is off the rails. One of these. This is a 2x4 buildable brick. I got this promo a while back. And someone on Instagram was nice enough, I wish I had their name available here. Someone was nice enough to send me a promo code for this. So I might even try that when I call them, since I'm on the phone anyway. I'll say, "Hey, I didn't get this message until like the next day, actually." I might say, "Hey, I missed out on the Mario mushroom thing, and I would love to get that. But I also have this promo code that I didn't use. Is there any chance that we could make this a thing?" And, we'll see what happens. Worst case scenario is they say no. And I think that's a lesson for everyone in life, including myself, is you just have to ask. You have to ask. I know it's sometimes, especially if you're an introvert like me, and, sometimes you're a little shy, you don't necessarily want to go out and, like, you're not demanding it, but, like, you don't want to go out and be, like, asking people for things, or, like, I don't know, interacting, or whatever. You get what I'm saying? Like, but you're never going to get anything in life if you don't go for it, no matter what it is. And this is just a small example of that maybe, I don't know, is like, I don't really want to call. I don't. And I'm just like, I'll just go to Target and get it for $5. But, it's like, I bought that set. Sure, it was 5 minutes early. And, the salty comment of the week from somebody is going to be like, "Well, Greg, you ordered it 5 minutes early. You should have waited. The promo didn't actually start until August 1st. Okay, I get it. But the intent was there, right? And if you want it, you have to ask. And I'm sure if I make that phone call and I mention those two things, this one might be questionable, but if I mention those two things, they're probably going to be like, "Yeah, that's totally fine." And I'll be like, "Thank you, Ivan. That's why I do business with you." We will bow to each other, and then we'll move on, and we'll continue doing the fake history of LEGO together. Speaking of live streams, I did a live stream the following day as well, which was so much fun. It's something I've been planning for a long time. That release party, by the way, we had that going for like an hour and 40 minutes. My intention was only to do it from like 11:30 to like 12:10 a.m. where I was like either met victory or defeat. But we kept going. Like, it was just a good time, and we were on for almost 2 hours just chatting and stuff. And we did essentially the same thing the next day, only it was for 8 hours. I did the Ninjago Docks build live stream, which you can see behind me here. It was so much fun, like getting all my buddies together and our whole group. Like I think everyone from my circle of friends was able to join at some point during the 8 hours, and it was just fun, like hanging out and talking. And those guys kept me entertained and occupied and entertained the chat while I was deep into the build process here on the Ninjago City Docks, which I think is just 3,553 pieces. And I will say, we've done these 8-hour streams before, and I know towards the end, you're just kind of like ready to be done. And I was certainly at that point last night. I was doing really well at the beginning, and then like I had dinner around, I don't know, 5 o'clock or whatever. Mrs. Brickitect was in full support mode. She brought down pizza and wings for me, so I ate those, which it definitely put me off pace, even though I think I was falling a little bit behind by then anyway, 5 hours in. But then after that, I realized that I wasn't going to get it done in the 8 hours. And I was on like bag 17 out of 19 when the 8-hour mark hit. And I was feeling like, oh man, I'm going to have to just wrap this up and start it the next day. But I had all my buddies there. The chat was encouraging me to keep going and stuff. And I busted out bag 18 and 19 and finished it up, even though by the end, like, I was completely pooched. And I had things on backwards, like a couple of the buildings were on backwards, which triggers me to no end because I ended the stream with it backwards. I flipped them around, got it fixed, and it was just so much fun. All my friends seemed to really enjoy being there, and I just appreciated them so much for being a part of that. Like, to commit to your entire day to a dude that's building a Ninjago set really says something about the quality of people that I've surrounded myself with, and I'm just so lucky. Not gonna do it. I'm really lucky to have friends like this in this community. I've said from the beginning that the LEGO community is full of some of the best people, and it's 100% true, including a lot of the people in the comments. I need to. All right, let's get it back together, Greg. Let's get it back together. After the stream was over, I looked through the comments there. Oh my gosh. I looked through a couple of the comments there, and there was several that said how much they appreciated the entertainment and how they were there the whole time, and it made me so happy. It made me so happy that today I'm wearing a banana shirt. I love this hobby, and I love the people, and it just makes me want to do more of it. So thank you to everyone on Brickitect Live. If you're wondering where the stream was, it was over on Brickitect Live. It was a blast. If you somehow survived all 9 hours, it actually went beyond 8 into 9 hours by the time I was done. I think I finished at like 8:55 or 8:56 or something. It was cool. It was one of those experiences that I'm going to remember, and it's a part of the reason that I love the Ninjago City set so much is because of my memories that I had when I live streamed it. That one was very different, and I think maybe a better format where I built like one bag a night and I interacted with the chat, and it was so great. Like over the series of like 3 weeks or whatever, I built that set, and not only is Ninjago City fantastic and my favorite LEGO set up until the day the Nintendo hits my hands here, the fact that I got to do it with people that are in my community and sharing that experience, I think made that set that much better for me. And when I look at it, I don't just see an amazing LEGO set. I see a time in my life, and I see an experience that I had and the memories that are associated with it. And Ninjago City Docks, I think, is going to be the exact same thing for me, where I remember that good time. I remember the jokes and the fun times we had, all of my friends being there, the people in the chat. I remember the struggle towards the end, and like it all becomes a part of the story. And if there's anything here on Brickitect that I really try to get out to you guys, is that every set has a story. Every part of what you're doing is a small part of something that's building up to something bigger. And it's something that I just really cherish, and I just want to say it's just, this is more than a hobby to me. Anyways, guys, that was my week. We had a lot of fun here in the world of LEGO and fake LEGO history and Reddititects. I also did some other things outside of LEGO, if you're wondering. We went swimming multiple times this week. I swam in the creek by our house with Clark Man. That was a hilarious experience. I won't get into too much of it here, but we also went camping. We stayed in our tent again this week. I got an RC boat, which was so much fun. We've never done RC boats, really. And I got one on Amazon for $60 or something like that. We took it up there and had a blast with it up in the creek. There's this big spot where we go swimming and stuff, and I had a lot of fun with that. That was like Thursday into Friday. So this whole week was just amazing for me. It's so wild for me to think of the fact that so much of everything is shut down now, and you're so limited in what you can do. But the truth is, if you really look around, you can find things that entertain you and keep you busy and just really give you that the life experience that's missing from a lot of things. Like, obviously, I want to go to the amusement parks. I want to go to the beach. I want to go out to eat. I want to do all of these things that, I mean, you can do, but we're playing it safe. Whether, better safe than sorry, I guess, is the motto. Maybe we're overly cautious, but I'm just trying to protect, our health and my family and stuff. And if all it takes to have a good time is to do a live stream with all my friends and to go run an RC boat in the creek for a bit, that's fine with me. I'm having a good time, and I'm sharing it with the people that matter most to me. I'm not going to cry. Anyway. Okay, let's go on to the part of this which I really have come to love, and that's viewer feedback. I will say, I mentioned in the very beginning of this episode that most of the comments were about Pringles flavors. It's a very polarizing topic, I know. Please don't comment anything about it this week. I want to try to save the comments. Like, if you're going to comment something, please don't comment that barbecue is your favorite Pringles flavor. One, because it's so wrong, because sour cream and onion is the flavor. But two, I like to talk about other things if we can, because there were so many good things. Last week, though, most outside of the Pringles comments, because that's a thing, there was quite a few comments about the Osprey and the cancellation of that. And a lot of people were upset with Lego. Some people said that it was a conspiracy, that it wasn't actually canceled for the reason that it was, but it was because Lego made a mistake with it. I did see an article from a few days ago that said that there may have been a part in it that was faulty. Like a gear or whatever, and that could be the reason. Who knows? It's really odd. I mean, it seems as though in Lego's statement about it, they really made it seem like that it was because their stance is against making war machines, right? Not war machine, but war machines. They didn't say anything about faulty parts. They didn't say anything about backlash. They didn't really say much, but apparently they're going to make another statement. And again, most of the comments that weren't about Pringles were about that. I don't want to get into too much of it here. I had some people that really had some good points and stuff, but I feel like it's like beating a dead horse. It's old news at this point, and I just want to move on to something else. So on that, I'd like to bring up this comment that we got that I thought was a really good one. It's from Let's Talk Sports. He says, "Hey Greg, I know this will most likely get lost with the rest of the comments in this video. I read every comment. I have some feedback. I know the fact that it's just you is unique, but I think you should have some guests on the podcast. But not just YouTubers that we've seen the opinions of already, but a viewer. I'm not saying this for selfish reasons, lol, but I'm having someone give their opinion on a Lego set, the controversies the past week, and more. It could help the small Lego channels, like channels with less than 100 subs. And I really like that comment. It made me think of something. Well, first of all, I guess I should answer this. I think this podcast, for what it is, this is my what I'm considering to be my weekly journal. It's about my life, Lego, and anything else that mattered to me this week. It's not necessarily a podcast like Bricks and Bits where you purposely sit down with the plan to discuss Lego news and share your opinions. There may be an episode of this, and there probably has been, where Lego is less than 10% of what the podcast episode is. It's just me talking about everything. So in that way, I don't necessarily feel like this podcast would really work with guests, because it's almost like, I was thinking about this week, because this comment really got me thinking. It's sort of like, say you were sitting down and you're writing in your journal about whatever's on your mind, and you're writing about it. It's sort of like being like, hey, does anyone else want to write in my journal here and like write a paragraph about like your thoughts on things? I just don't think that works. I love that idea though, and for that reason, like I've been thinking about for a while now, having a thing on Brickitect Live where it's almost like a call-in radio show, where it's just me kind of chatting with the chat, and then having someone dial in or whatever, basically, or coming on through StreamYard with me, and us two just having a conversation for a bit. Like you would call into a radio station. So it's just me and you talking. It could be anybody. You don't have to have a YouTube channel. You don't have to have a gazillion subscribers. If there's anything to know about me, I don't judge people by their subscriber level. And I hate it when people do that with me. It's almost like, okay, I have 100,000 subscribers on Brickitect, so for some reason I matter more, my opinion matters more. It's not even the slightest. And you don't think that people that have a lot of subscribers are any different from a person that has none or doesn't even have a channel, because it's not true. We're all just normal people. But yeah, I'd like to have people come on and just like talk about whatever. You can talk about your life, Lego, and anything else that's on your mind. This isn't again. This isn't in this podcast. This is a very important series to me for what it is, and I love the format that we currently have. But I would love to do like a separate thing. I don't know what it would be called or whatever, but just like a thing where we just chat about whatever. Maybe the conversation goes on 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then it kind of we kind of run through everything, and then you jump off and someone else comes on, almost like the community streams that I was doing on Brickitect Live, where we'd have people from the community come in. I really enjoyed that. The only issue that comes from that is that I know there's a lot of kids that watch this. Don't tell the LAN, don't tell COPPA, don't tell the FTC. And I don't want young kids to come on there because I don't know. I just think about it as a parent. Even if it is 13 years old, I don't know if I want my 13-year-old kid to jump on and start talking to some middle-aged dude on the internet. So I'm going to probably cut it off at like, I don't know, 16, 18, something like that, where it's just like, maybe it's like an AFOL conversation. Maybe we can prove to the LAN that there's actually adults that watch this channel. Just something I've been running through my mind. We're talking about new series here, things to experiment with. Maybe we try it out. Maybe it's a bust. I know sometimes when we have people come on, they get a little shy or nervous, which is totally expected, and they don't say much, but that's only kind of been when I've had multiple people on at the same time. Like I was doing my community streams where I'd have like 4 people jump on at the same time with me, and it's tough to navigate that. So I think a one-on-one thing would be fun, and it could just be about you and whatever's going on. You could talk about anything. So let's talk sports. I do appreciate that comment, and I understand that maybe you want to see an outside perspective, but again, this isn't the podcast for that. If you do want something like that, obviously Bricks and Bits, you can go through the archive there. There's lots of interviews with various people. Again, they are probably they're bigger YouTube channels, Instagram people, live streamers, things like that. But there's a space for this, and I think maybe I could be a person that helps fill that. Just an idea, but I do appreciate that. On to other things. I talked to you guys last week. There's a segment that I want to start on this called Success of the Week or Victory of the Week or something along those lines, where it's like a positive thing that happened to you in the last week. I got this idea from our Patreon streams we're doing. I spend so much time talking about my life, Lego, and anything else that I'm curious to see what else is going on in the world. It's boring if it's just me, right? So victories of the week or successes of the week is something I threw out there last week. And we had a few people throw theirs out there, starting with Brick Tony, who says, victory of the week for me. I began to learn how to program in a programming language called C++. And I thought that was cool because I did a computer programming class in high school, and I hated it. I liked the creation aspect of it. I just hated the coding of it. I just couldn't wrap my head around it. So I applaud you for that being your success or victory of the week, man. That's cool. Next one we have is from Tap Tap Zip. Great name, by the way. He says, my best experience of the week was getting to see my grandma and to get to make some puzzles with her. It was amazing. That's a victory, man. You don't know how much time that you have left with anyone, including your grandma. So try to spend as much time with her as possible. I bet building puzzles with you was probably her success of the week too. So that's pretty cool, man. IUS Movies and Shorts says, I had my first live stream this week on YouTube. That's cool, man. Live streaming is where it's at. I have so much fun with them, as you can't tell. And I think you'll enjoy it there. Even if you just have a few people, it's really cool because you get to interact with them directly. And it's a lot different than when you post a video and you see comments later. Like, to be in the moment. And for me, when I watch live streams, I know that I like the idea of thinking like, that person right now is doing that thing. Like, I'm sitting here right now doing this, and that person is doing that right now. And it's like, we're sharing this connection. I think it's cool. Next one is from Dion, who says, my victory is watching my daughter eat her first real food other than baby food. Oh man, those are the times to remember. I hope you got that on video, or maybe not. Maybe just be in the moment, but those are good times. Next one is from Mike of The Cool Factor. Great channel, by the way. Do a search for Mike on The Cool Factor, or just The Cool Factor. He says, and I can relate to this comment so much. He says, I have anxiety because my bedroom corner studio became so cluttered with Lego that no amount of cleaning or reorganizing helps now. Space is filled in capital letters. It makes making videos so much harder. It feels my head is cluttered with too much stuff. I moved my editing rig to another room and made the cleanest possible editing setup. Flattened the boxes in the studio. Yes! Removed all the cables thanks to the move, and now it feels better. I am getting back on track with feeling good about the process or the grind of making videos. Dude! Mike, inspire me. I need to do more of what Mike does here. I feel you, man. When you look around, like, so much of your world is visual. And when you look around and see the clutter and a mess, I know because this is my life, it just really, it has a negative impact on you. And when you look around and see like this minimalist space, So much better. Look behind me. Look at my table, Mike. I need to do what Mike does. I hope that's my success of next week. And, speaking of next week, I want to talk to you guys about a special episode here. Hopefully you're in this deep into this, and we still got time here. Mrs. Brickitect is going to be joining us on next week's episode. It's going to be a special episode because we're having family come over next weekend, like I mentioned, so I won't probably be able to do the Sunday morning episode like we typically do. So if you're watching this episode, and I think I'll do a community post on this as well, if you're watching this episode and there's anything that you would like Mrs. Brickitect to talk about or us to talk about together, it can literally be anything, Lego, non-Lego. In fact, I think non-Lego would even be better. Throw it out there. We did an episode which was like 29. If you want to watch, go back and watch that one, where we talked about a lot of stuff. I'd like to not talk about the same things, even though I can't really remember what we talked about. But if you have any topics that you would love us to discuss, or for Mrs. Brickitect herself to discuss, she's going to be on, and I think that'd be cool. So I definitely don't want to skip a week for you guys. So episode 46 is going to be with Mrs. Brickitect. So actually, she's a small YouTuber. Going back to Let's Talk Sports' comment, Mrs. Brickitect is a small YouTuber that I think I would love to see what her opinions and views are on things. So we'll bring her on. I'm kidding, of course, Let's Talk Sports, but yeah, it's just a little episode that'll be kind of like a break. So throw it out there. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about that. Next part of this, I thought we would do a thing where it's like rapid fire. As much as I don't rapid fire anything with comments because I go off on tangents, but just random things that people talked about in the comments that I thought we could throw out here. Starting with Delmer, the dog man, says, do you think there'll be a LEGO Masters Season 2? I hope so. I think that show, maybe they don't even realize it, but I think that show did a lot of good, because I look at Clark Man watching those episodes, and I swear after we watched every single one of those episodes of LEGO Masters, he would start building LEGO stuff. And it wouldn't necessarily be what he saw on the show, but he said at 5 years old, he said that show inspires him. And I think there's a lot of other people out there that need to see something like that. There's so much trash on TV that show, even with its added drama and maybe not so much of a focus on Lego as it is about Terry Crews busting through a wall or the girl from Blossom being there for seemingly no reason at all, I think the show really made people think about Lego again. And maybe I bet there's a lot of guys out there, girls, that haven't built Lego in a long time, but happen to be flipping through the channels and are like, oh, Lego, this is awesome. Dude, I'm going to go to Walmart and pick up a Lego set. I want to get back into this. And I think this first season was a solid run. I'm definitely thinking that Boone should have won. I was with Boone the entire time, but when the storyline comes out that, Tyler and Amy, they're having a baby, all these things, you kind of have to give them the win, right? It was tough at the end. It also made me realize that I would never be able to compete on that episode or on those shows because those people are just amazing on there. I was impressed with everybody. Even people who get kicked out at the very beginning. I'm like, dang, you guys really are Lego artists. And someday I'd aspire to be to that. But the show was amazing. And I hope it did well enough in ratings. I don't follow that kind of stuff, but I hope that they saw enough value in it to have it come out in season 2. Heck, even if Fox wants to put it on like the weakest night of the week, whatever that is, like when no one's watching TV, I'd be there watching it with my family, and it's something we watched every single week together, and I miss it. So please, Fox, bring back LEGO Masters too. Next rapid fire, see how the rapid fire isn't really going to work, says from Blacklight. He said, Greg, you should take a look at Gundams. They're awesome robot building kits. I think you and Clark would have a lot of fun with Gundams. I think you're right. I've watched videos before where people have built them, and I've looked them up on Amazon and stuff. And it's like combining Clark's two favorite things in this world, Lego and Transformers, Gundam. And it's like model kits. I've seen ones that just snap together, like you don't have to get glue. I've seen people that paint them and stuff too to make them look even better. I would love to make that a hobby. I could see us doing something like that over the winter time, if that's something you guys like to see. I feel like Brickitect could probably support a Gundam segment, because this channel, as much as it's like a Lego thing, it's also just like whatever we're doing. And I feel like I can share Creo, I can share, dare I say it, Mega Bloks, and I could share Gundam, and maybe some people will find us through the Gundam videos that never would have watched Lego, and they're like, oh, these guys make Lego stuff too, I'll watch that. I don't know. I think it could be fun, but I appreciate you putting that out there, because that's something that has been in my mind in the past, but I haven't thought about forever, and that's why I love these comments, because you guys give me ideas. I appreciate that. Next one is from Mano's Lego Creations. He says, what do you do with work? Or wait, I'm butchering this. Mano says, what do you work with, Greg? Is it just YouTube? And the answer to that is yes. I quit my full-time job in August of 2017. We're going on 3 years now. where I have just been doing YouTube full time, and it's been amazing. You guys have seen the story and the victories that we've had here. It's been incredible. I feel very lucky and very fortunate to be in this position to do this, and it's been a lot of work too. I mean, I did YouTube since 2011, and I worked on it very hard for 6 years while also doing my job. And it wasn't because I wanted to make money. It was because I was just so passionate about making videos. And when I saw, like, I got my first check from YouTube, which was like $112 or something like that, it was like, wow, this is crazy. So I just kept going, and I had this passion. Even though I wasn't really strong at making videos or having a presence on camera or anything like that. And we were talking about this last night after the stream. It was just like, I had the will to want to do this. And I find that even if you don't have a talent or strength in something, if you just force yourself hard enough and you go all in on something, you can have some success. And that's what I've had here, and it's been awesome. Like, I think about it now, like, knowing that it's been 3 years and all the experiences that I've got to enjoy with Clarkman and my family and being home, it's been so amazing. Like, I think about this all the time when we're doing something on a weekday. Like this week when we went swimming or when we went to camping or whatever on a random Friday, I was thinking, like, dude, I'd be at work right now. I'd be making loans for people. I worked in finance before. I'd be sitting in an office right now on this beautiful sunny day on a computer under fluorescent lights, making loans to people or making phone calls or whatever. It's not the life that was meant for me, I don't think. I feel like when I was doing it, I was providing value to people. And the people that I helped really did appreciate it. But if you guys know my story, I don't believe in debt. So while I worked at my job, I really felt like a hypocrite. I felt like a sellout because I was doing something that I didn't believe in. And while I was helping people and I was really good at what I did, that wasn't what I was created for. That wasn't my calling. And I do feel it. Maybe me more than anyone else, I feel like this is my calling and this is my passion in life, is making these videos for you guys. And I just love it so much, and I can't imagine a life where I don't do this. Even if I wasn't making any money on YouTube and I somehow had to go back to that life, which would be miserable for me. Like, it would crush my soul. I would probably be depressed. I would still be making videos because it's just a part of me at this point, and I'm just very fortunate. So thank you to everyone here that has found us through whatever means it was, whether you found us in Greg's World, on Brickitect, maybe you just found Missing Pieces and this is your first time watching it or listening to it. I want to thank all of you guys for tuning into this and being a part of my life and allowing me to do this. I oftentimes feel guilty living this life or even talking about it because I know there's other people out there that are maybe listening to this that feel like they're trapped in that world that I was in, where you're sitting at a desk all day and maybe you're listening to this while you're sitting there. Just know that if there's something else you want to do, you only get one chance at this world and this life. As far as we know, who knows? Maybe you'll come back as a house cat and live peacefully and love your life. But you only get one chance in your current playthrough, and it's definitely worth taking a risk. My advice to you, and this isn't supposed to be what this podcast is about, but my advice is to you, if you're an adult and you're listening to this, contrary to what the land says, do your best to get yourself out of debt. Find a way to pay off your stuff. If you have to sell something, do whatever you can to eliminate those obligations, because oftentimes those are the things that are holding you back. And that's something that I worked hard towards in order to make this jump, because if I was deep in debt, I don't think I could have done it. So get yourself out of debt. Focus on your spending. Try to save. Make more money than you spend. And that may seem hard to do, but if you looked at a way a lot of people live in the world, you don't need a lot of things that you think are necessities. So get yourself out of debt. Start coming up with a plan. I don't know what your goal is, so it's hard for me to say, but say you want to make YouTube videos. I guess the first step is to start making them and be consistent with it. Make videos that you're passionate about, things that you would want to watch. Don't try to do what everyone else does, because I truly believe that I would have done that. If I was trying to make Jang Bricks videos where it's white background with reviews, I would have failed miserably. I knew that the thing that I had some success in was making things personal and sharing who I am, because that's really all I have. I've got no other talent other than being honest with you and being authentic. And for some reason, and I can understand this because I look for people like this. People connect to that. People want to see the humanity in you. You don't have to be perfect. The more mistakes you make, in my opinion, I don't cut those things out, because you make mistakes too. And when you see someone that maybe you look up to but has 100,000 subscribers and this amazing person that is so much better than you for no reason, it's like, oh, that person makes mistakes too. Okay, like maybe I'm not so bad, right? So I encourage you guys, if anything, like, there's something you want to do, go for it. If you fail, what do you have to lose, right? I'm gonna get off my soapbox now. I want to end this off on one last positive note here. This is from Boyle, and I always like sending you guys out with a little bit of encouragement, and I thought this is a really sweet comment. Boyle says, so because of the whole Chima thing, I temporarily lost my job and had to start landscaping. Seeing I was a bit behind on missing pieces, I quite literally changed my entire day being able to listen while working. This is my favorite podcast, and I just want to say thank you. You're also the main reason why my girlfriend and I collect Lego on occasion, hunting deals, and then building together just to get away from watching a screen. You're truly an amazing person and an inspiration. Boyle, you're an inspiration, man. Thank you so much for being here with us. You're not getting 2 cries, though, Boyle, on one episode. It's over my quota. I got to wrap this one up, guys. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching and listening to this podcast. My favorite thing that I do every week. And to know that there's a couple people out there that are like, I want to hear what Greg has to say this week. It's an honor. Thank you for enduring me, my banana shirt. If you guys want to support this podcast, you can leave a like in this video. You can support us on Patreon. Huge help over there. We do Lunch and Lego every single Tuesday. We do Friday night patron only stream where we just hang out and talk about whatever you guys want to do. And you can also leave a review on Apple Podcasts. That helps as well. We're trying to get to the #1 spot for missing pieces. I think I'm right behind. It's like something from Fox or something. They did a missing pieces thing. So I'm trying to steal that spot from them. They haven't uploaded anything in like a year. So I think we can slowly get there. And most of all, you can leave a comment for viewer feedback next week. It basically is my favorite part of this, and I just like kind of going back and forth with you guys. And thank you to everyone that commented last week, whether it was about the Osprey or just your positivity or the success of the week. What is your success of the week? Put that as one. Please don't comment about Pringles. That's my only request. We're good there. I guess on that, thank you guys all for watching, and of course, we'll find you in the next Missing Pieces.